Of all ages, welcome to Debate Crypto in a world where hopium collides with common sense. Starring, as always, your hosts, the Crypto Keeper, that's me, and the one and only Blockchain Crusader. How we doing, Miguel?
Good, man. Good. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. What do we have scheduled for the podium this evening?
We got what altcoins are going to skyrocket in the next 6 months, and we got is ETH going to hit 20K by the end of this bull run?
Is ETH going to hit 20K? Ooh, we get the wick lit because we are about to go off like a firecracker, son. That was literally on like right now because I forgot that I needed to have my little dad joke. So that was probably one of my weaker attempts, but at least I came up with something there. So
That was
is,
solid. That was solid.
is what it is. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, let's get it going, dude. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man. So let's start off with ETH. I think I follow Raoul Pal, right, and I like his way of thinking about it. He mentions, right. He mentions the fact that Bitcoin is growing at twice the speed of adoption as the internet was back in the day. And we've seen how far the internet has come and how far Bitcoin is going so far. And, it's for a short period of time. And Ethereum is growing at twice the speed, its network effect is growing at the twice of speed that Bitcoin is. So at an exponential rate, Ethereum should be able to hit 20K because he talks about how the charts for the 2017 bull run for Bitcoin and Ethereum's chart right now is showing the same movement that Bitcoin had, right? Bitcoin was around this $3,000, $4,000 range around this same time period back in 2017. It didn't explode past 10,000 until November. I think November was still at like 8,000. By the end of November, it doubled and it went up to 16,000. And then from there, we went, full parabolic and hit the 20K. So I think that Ethereum has enough time to run and hit the same levels that Bitcoin did due to its network effect and the time left in the bull market. So I think it's very possible, and it's just the money that's going into Bitcoin is going to eventually roll into Ethereum when Bitcoin has its blow off top, and I can see it. I can see it happening.
Yeah, I'm with you. Before we get into the AMA portion of the show tonight, let me hit on this. So you guys know my girlfriend ETH, right? I love ETH, and so I talk about ETH a lot. So I don't want to bore you guys with it, but let's look at it from a couple different standpoints. First standpoint is exactly what Miguel was talking about. We are essentially in the internet age of crypto. So what I mean is like we would be in like 1998 to 2000 ish, as it relates to when we were starting the internet versus now in crypto, right? It's still early. And so because it's still early, the first mover advantage is really there, right? So Bitcoin was on the front end, right? And
Yep.
then ETH just basically absolutely ripped up the charts in 2016, 2017, right? It really came center stage when people realized, holy crap, like we have the ability to do things in a decentralized manner, including finance. And so finance is literally what our world is wrapped around, whether we realize it or not. The banks are what runs the world. And the thing that I hate about that is that we are relying on and believing in a centralized group of people that scratch each other's backs, but don't give two what's about scratching your back, right? If we
100%.
look at, and I do bring this up a lot, but I can't help it. If we look at the fact that we are essentially giving the banks a short-term, medium-term, or long-term loan when we put money into a savings account, and that they are giving us 0.01 to 0.03% interest, yet they are loaning it out at an alarmingly different rate than that. It's one thing, man. It's selfish, right? It is selfish, and it is all about getting the what's the word I'm looking for? Just basically getting
getting greed, getting that.
It's all about elevating themselves, elevating their
Yeah,
product, and anything that gets in the way, we're just going to stomp on it, right? Because we're the bank, we have the power. You know what? You need to transfer. You need to get a check in there, and one day, well, you better have you better have a big enough account that we can verify that, even when it's going from the same bank to the same bank, but just because it's our rules, right? There's just so many little nuanced things that banks do that just stink, man. So I
yeah,
think once people started realizing in 2016, 2017, like, hey, or actually it's 2017, 2018, I misspoke. I'm sorry. Once they started realizing that that we could do decentralization on a financial scale, that's when things started to turn. Now, fast forward to right now. People have seen ETH rip from a couple dollars all the way up to 1400 last run. Now they've seen it rip up from a couple $100 in March, or 100 and something bucks, $200 in March of 2020 when the crash happened, all the way up to ultimately the all-time high, which was like 4,500. I forget the exact number in there. So the asset price is there for people to say, hey, we can make money with this. But on top of that, everything is being built on top of it. So there is so much being built on Ether. Listen, everything has its little drawbacks. You can talk about gas fees. You can talk about, oh, it's not the fastest network. You can talk about all of those little nuance things that you want to complain about. But the reality is, the most projects are being built on top of ETH. It works. It is an actual ecosystem that is being used, where a lot of crypto right now is all hype, right? For example, Cardano is all built on hype right now. It's not actually, smart contracts aren't actually in effect yet. And so, yeah, I 20K, absolutely. My only holdback with that, and you know that I'm pretty conservative with some of my, some of my call outs, right? My only drawback with saying that, because if anyone would love to see a 20K ETH, it'd be me.
yeah.
My only drawback and my only holdback on that is that I see too much just chaos going on right now, where I just feel like I won't be surprised to see something negative happen in our economy, to possibly negatively
But
affect
I
that.
think I think that's all gonna happen at a timed moment after big crypto hits a top. I think they're timing that. I think they understand that there's we just got the report right where the job report was a lot lower than what they
Yep.
expected. What are
Mm-hmm.
they gonna do? The money printing machine goes burr, right? They're gonna
Burr.
print more money to keep things afloat. They want to keep the stock market happy, and they gotta put liquidity into it. So that's going to be good for crypto in the long run. But I do agree, right? There's a lot of political unrest. There's a lot of different scenarios playing around and around the world at the same time within our country and around the world. And I think they understand. I think they're accounting for this, and I think they're trying to time things as correct as possible to be able to cash out at the top, be able to be sitting on cash, so they can buy up these assets when these assets crash. Um,
Yeah.
so that's my thing about it. I think they are timing it, but I still think that ETH can hit 20K. It's the level of no matter how much the gas fees are. Right? People are complaining, oh, ETH is trash because of the gas fees are out of hand. Everybody wants to be on ETH. Every project wants to be on ETH, right? How
Mm-hmm.
many projects are on Solana right now? Very few. How
Yep.
many projects are on any of these other networks that have low fees? Nobody, right? No big name is anywhere else. They want to be on that's where the exposure is, right? You want to be on the apps on the Apple store, or do you want to be on some third party app store in the internet somewhere that they can
Yep.
find you? It's cool, but it's not the same exposure. So that's what it is. ETH is the number one place to be at. It has its drawbacks. It's not perfect, but it's the biggest. And I think that all these other networks right now that claim that they're so perfect compared to ETH, if they had the volume that ETH had, they'd be having similar problems.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I think ETH is going to absolutely moon. Whether that all happens right now very quickly and we just absolutely slingshot forward, or whether it happens, in this next cycle. Well, here's the thing. I do believe this, that short of something happening within the next couple weeks, short of something wild happening in the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to hit 10K. So we're at
Oh yeah.
almost 4. I think 10K is almost a given. Okay, I do feel confident in that. It's that 10K to 20. And I'll just tell you guys where I'm going to start figuring out my take profits. Right, is 5 to 10K, and 10K is a big number for me. And that's a big psychological number. When we look at charting and TA and analysis, it has to be taken into account that these numbers, like right now, like we're playing with that 4,000 number for ETH, right? We're
Yep.
playing with 50,000 for Bitcoin, right? We're playing with 300 for Cardano. Guys, these are not, I repeat, these are not coincidences. People are seeing these big even numbers and saying, ooh, can it go higher? I'm getting questions about Cardano. Can it go past 3? Or are we set for a full pullback? I never get questions like, can we go past $2.87? Right? No, it's those full even numbers. So 4K, we didn't get much past that last time. We dropped back down. 50K in the grand scheme of things is a huge psychological number, right? Just like that 100K, if and when we get there, right? When we get there. But if we're able to get there this year, that is going to be a massive, massive barrier to press through. But shoot, I'm super.
But
super
if we do, I think the FOMO comes in after those massive numbers. Once you break 100K, that's when you start seeing the headlines everywhere. Bitcoin 100K, ETH over $10,000, right? And that's where you see the parabolic movement blasting off, because even though the numbers are huge, you would think, okay, we're going to see a pullback. That's where the crazy euphoria really kicks in and just makes things skyrocket even crazier.
That's also the scariest, for those of you that are new to crypto, that is the scariest, most dangerous part, right? It's also the most exciting. Let's call it like it is.
Dude, like when that moment comes, this is me. Seatbelt, strapped onto the rocket. Let's go.
Strap in and let's go. Oh, dude, I'm with you. So speaking of that, this is actually fantastic segue into this, but I'm going to mess this up. So Bakash Dangal, right? Hopefully I didn't butcher that too bad. Wants to know, which crypto would you buy right now and hold for the next 5 years? And I'm actually going to start off on this one. I'm big on having all the information, Bakash. So let me just say, I could give you a lot of answers to this question, but I'm going to try to give you as straightforward of a response as I can. Okay. The 5-year part is the part that is the tricky part, because a lot of these projects that you see now are not going to be around in 5 years. Yeah. And in my opinion, the real question becomes, what's your risk tolerance look like? Because if you have basically zero risk tolerance, then for the next 5 years, then I'm going to give you the obvious answer. It's Bitcoin, right? If you have a little bit more risk tolerance, right, but really not even much anymore, ETH, right? That would be the next. Now, your rate of return is going to be higher on ETH just because of the just sheer numbers that we're at right now. It takes a lot more to push ETH, to push Bitcoin from 50K to 100K than it's going to be to push ETH from 4K to 8K, right? So just keep that in mind. And so I think that that's there. Now, here's the thing. You want to hold something for 5 years and absolutely blast off. And just now, this is making the assumption that you are not, and I repeat, you do not need this money and you would be fine waking up without it, right? If we're talking about something like that, let's be real. There is a lot of smaller cap alts that are coming onto the scene or that have been on the scene that have a ton more room to run, a lot of an ecosystem around them, like Cardano, like VeChain, like crypto.com, like, you know what I'm saying? And so those are going to give you some absolutely insane potential, but with the insane potential comes the same insane potential to absolutely crash and burn. So I guess it depends on what your risk tolerance looks like.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, right? Like, I'm looking up at Decentraland right now. Decentraland is at $1 right now, right? But if we look back maybe 3 years ago when it was at, not even 3 years ago, back in 2021, it was at 17 cents. If we go even a little bit further back to, let me see, go back to the previous bull market of 2018, it was at 5 cents, right? 2017, it was at a penny. Right. And if you would have bought it back then, you would be making tons of money right now. You'd be, crazy amount of money. But nobody knew if Decentraland was going to be able to survive the bear market and actually thrive to where it's at. Right, Decentraland could have completely failed, completely failed, but it didn't. But that's the risk you take, right? If you would have taken the risk, you would have gotten gigantic rewards. So it's depending how much risk you're willing to take on is how much rewards you're going to get paid in 5 years. Like you said, Bitcoin, Ethereum, two most solid picks in crypto for the long term that have the least amount of risk and real decent returns compared to anything else, compared to real estate, compared to stock market, anything else out there. So it is what it is. But there are some low cap gems, right? We have a whole episode, 6 low cap gems that could definitely make tons of money.
Yeah, we just did that. So guys, jump over, watch some of our other videos. If you're not subscribed to us, definitely subscribe. Debate Crypto all together, right? Debate Crypto. Subscribe to us, like the video. If you're in the live chat, X out of the live chat, smash the like. Or if you just don't like us, you can dislike it as well. But just show some support, comments. We appreciate all of it. Hey Miguel, I did want to touch on something. So you said we get great returns, but kind of like wishy washy, talking about like returns that are 100%, 200%, 300%, right? How spoiled are we when we're talking about doubling, tripling, or more our money and calling them decent returns, right?
Decent.
I mean, just decent. I mean, I'm used to getting,
it's just like that. It's just like that meme, right?
Just like that meme. It's like
there's a 5-6% pump on a coin, and you're like, people are cheering. The stock market people are like, whoa, 5% is like, we don't do that here.
Yeah. It's really funny. And it's the truth, and that's part of the reason why I came over to crypto in the first place, because I do have risk tolerance. And so I wanted to be able to have the ability to say, hey, you know what? If I'm willing to risk and I'm willing to invest my time, my money, obviously, and then my ability to study and learn, well, then I want to have like an absolute chance of making some insane returns, which, let's call it like it is. I have. So
yeah, we got some question over here.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting question. Really good question. Dolores says, if you could create a new crypto, which new characteristics would you like to bring to the space? You want to take that first, or?
Wow, sure. Yeah, I can jump on it. All right, so let me repeat it one more time as I kind of process through this. If you could create a new crypto, which new characteristics would you like to bring to the space? I think there's a few different things that come to mind when I hear this. One of them is another layer of safety and assurance for people. One of the problems that we have in crypto right now, especially with the older generation, is they don't understand what's going on. And some of the returns and the potential on returns seem so insane that it's almost unbelievable, right? When I first started telling my parents about Bitcoin, ETH, and some of this stuff, it was almost like, is Nick up to his old tricks again? Is he storytelling over here? What's going on? You know what I mean? Is this the old Nick, or is this the Nick that I know now? Right.
Yeah.
And for those of you that have heard any of my story, you know what I'm getting at. I'm not going to get into that now, but and so some of the returns seem crazy. One of the things that I really like is they're starting to offer some insurance policies, right? And I think that some of the older generation is going to need to have some sort of an FDIC type insurance that the banks have, right? So that when they get in and say, you know what, all right, I'm willing to learn here, okay, but I need some assurance that if I'm going to put some of my money here, that somebody's not going to scam me out of it and I'm just cooked because I don't fully understand it and I want to give it a chance, but I need that. Now, that being said, there is some of that going on right now. They do have crypto insurance happening right now. It's slowly getting rolled out. I think Gemini, the Coinbase Vault. So there are layers of security that are being added, but it's coming slowly but surely. So one of the things would be that peace of mind. i.e., some sort of an insurance policy that is part of the project. So that'd be one thing that I would put in there. The second thing would be real plain and simple: interoperability. You're going to hear this word as a buzzword when it comes to crypto a lot. People throw it around as if it is, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? Like it's just everybody's got it. It's in the fridge. Just grab it, right? But it's not. The fact is, and the reason that you see so many different exchanges offering different assets, right? So many different NFT marketplaces, right? Different ways to mint these NFTs, right? Projects that you can only buy on a certain exchange because it's an ERC20 token, right? It's on the Ethereum network. I would love to see something that comes out that is a catch-all that says, hey, look, you can buy any coin on the market here, right? So let's look at it from an exchange standpoint.
Yeah.
You can buy anything you want to buy here. Now, not only can you buy assets, right, i.e. coins and tokens, you can buy NFTs. We've got the ability, like Audius, to let you stream music here. Like literally, the Amazon of crypto would be what I would want to see come to fruition. And as part of that, it would need, and I repeat, need to be fast. It would need to be secure, and people feel secure while using it. And it would need to be interoperable. It would need to operate, and all of the blockchains would need to be able to communicate. Now, there's a lot more to it than that, but I think those are the three things that come to mind right off the bat for me. What do you got, Miguel?
Yeah. I think what I would, there's one aspect that I know a lot of people would like, and it's a thing that scares a lot of people in the first place and are afraid, scares them out of crypto or to actually do anything with crypto. And that's being able to reverse a transaction, right? If I messed up and I sent my money away and it's like, oh, it didn't go to where I thought it was supposed to go, undo it for me, right?
Okay.
But this is complex, right? Because if we have a deal, right, and I'm supposed to send you $20, right? I sent it to you, boom, you get it. You're like, all right, good to go, right? I bought something from you. You give me that guitar for the $20 I sent you in ETH or whatever. And then I say, hey, I already got the guitar. Now I'm going to undo my transaction. Boom, take my money back, right? So that would be a problem. There would have to be some level of security within the smart contracts or whatever to only allow the transaction reverse only happen under certain conditions. So yeah, but I don't know how that would be implemented. I know that the government wants that. The government has mentioned that they want to reverse transactions, and they want to reverse it. They want to reverse it because they want to first they're seeing your transaction happen. They're like, oh wait, you're sending money from here to there, or you're sending money to this service. We don't want you to do that. Just how they do with the banks now, and they halt your transaction, cancel it. No, you're not sending money there. That's why they want it, right? They want to have that power to be able to insert that power whenever they feel like it. I'm talking about only the individuals can choose to cancel their own transactions, not some type of outside party. But I don't know how that would work just for security issues, right? There's a lot of complexity behind that. Besides that, I think true decentralization would be something, right? There's a lot of projects now that are coming out, but they all have companies. They all have a big group of people behind it with incentives, right? I think we need another Satoshi Nakamoto that would drop a legit project, right? And there's no updates to it. It's just project drop, here it is, and then have a time lock on it where basically nobody can update the code unless certain like emergency factors were to come in, right? If something would to be drastically wrong later down the line, like scaling issues, right? Once you hit certain time, then the code would open up to allow an update to happen. Until then, there can't be this constant updating like we've seen with Bitcoin, and then we see all these forks happening because everybody wants to take the project in a different direction. I think it needs to be like, hey, this is my project. I dropped it. I'm unknown, but this is my goal. And you can only update this, or only I can come back and update it whenever there's a drastic, emergency to the code's life.
At the end of the day, don't you think that true decentralization is going to either come from an absolute just pure crypto heart, if you will, right? One place, or the other one is going to be out of pure greed. Let's be real. The Satoshi Nakamoto wallet has what, 1 million Bitcoin in it, I think,
Something
right?
like that, yeah.
It is at $50,000. It is a massive amount of money, right? Just absolutely insane. What'd you say?
CIA.
Yeah, right. So it is a massive amount of money, right? And so I think the other side of it comes greed. Yeah, we can make it decentralized, right? But but on the front end of it, the only reason that people are making these projects at the end of the day are to make money. And I don't blame them. I'm just saying that somewhere along the line, and this is the problem with decentralization, someone is going to always look at something, just like Miguel, when you and I look at something and assess it, right?
Yeah.
You assess it for, and you ask a number of different questions. And one of the questions that comes up in life in general is, how can I monetize this? So true decentralization, I believe, doesn't almost doesn't allow people to be able to truly monetize it. And that's the problem, because people want to be able to step in and monetize. So true
Yeah.
decentralization would be something like Uniswap without any fees. None. It just makes the transaction happen. But the reality is, guess what? The fee needs to be there. Why? Because the network has to run. Well, how's the network going to run if we ultimately don't have the ability to make changes or to update things or to, and so who's going to do that for free? Well,
Yeah.
nobody's going to do it for free. So at some point, whether it's as decentralized as it possibly, we think it can be, somebody's got to be able to make money on it. And when money's involved, it pollutes the water. So I think
Yes.
that's a hard thing to truly get to. So that's a
Yeah.
great question, though, Dolores. We
That was a
sincerely,
creative question. I've never even thought about a question like that.
yeah, no doubt, guys. If you're just jumping in, smash the likes. Definitely subscribe to us. TikTok, we are on Debate Crypto. I know my live chat fell out for a minute. I guess let's see here. I could probably take a question real quick on. Oh, here we go. I got one for you. Tell
Go
me
ahead.
your opinion on Richard Hart.
Richard Hart, who's that?
Oh, you don't even know who it is? Okay, so I'll just real quick. Then I won't, because Miguel isn't going to know who that. So he's the guy who says that he created Bitcoin that owns Hex. Do you know who I'm talking about? Have you seen this
Oh,
guy? He's
that
a
guy.
yahoo dude. I'll tell you my opinion on Richard Hart, and I'll make it real simple. I think he is a slimy dude, and I literally would not trust him as far as I could throw him. He just, to me, gives off Miguel, you know how you meet somebody, or you don't meet them, or you see them and they just give you this like something's
The
off. When we
cringe.
get off
It's
here
like,
tonight, bro, look up Richard Hart
ugh.
and listen to him talk. And
Oh, I
his whole
have.
thing with Hex is he pushes so hard that this needs to be peer to peer, and he says it's because these slimy exchanges they're not going to get my money. It's pay to play, and they don't even put me up there when the market cap is here. Listen, Richard, the market cap isn't, you're not listed for a reason. I promise you that. And it's not because you're not paying to play. It's because the people that are doxing you realize, guess what? He hasn't been in trouble for it right now yet, though he's been in a bunch of trouble before. Like, if you look into him, he's got just ugly written all over him. But even though he's not getting in trouble right now, I'm telling you, they know something we don't. He is absolutely got the world's largest Ponzi scheme going with Hex, and that's why he continues to say, we need to be peer to peer. We need to be peer to peer. We need to be
Yeah.
peer to peer. Well, he only wants to be peer to peer so that you can keep robbing Peter to pay Paul, and basically, bringing the money from here to here, here to here, here to here, back to
Yeah.
here to here, here to here, here to here. It's like wash trading, right? Wash
Yep.
trading is where basically you make and sell and buy a bunch of transactions to pump up the actual volume to appear as if more is happening there than really is. And wash
Mhm.
trading is illegal, right? This is something that is done or has been done in the stock market, because guess what? technical analysts look at something and it's called volume, and it's one of the biggest indicators. And if Miguel and I are buying and selling, but never really taking a position, it is showing high volume on the charts. And so I just think he's a slime ball.
I didn't know him by name. But I've seen him speak, and I just don't want to get involved in anything with Hex. He speaks, and I just like, bro, it just makes my gears grind, right? And I'm just like, dude, this guy is just one of those names in the space that's just like, this is why crypto has a bad reputation.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Miguel, I think it's been about 30 minutes, and we're going to wind it down. So, guys, if you're not subscribed to us, definitely subscribe. If you're in the live chat, X out. Definitely shoot us a like. We sincerely appreciate it, guys. On TikTok, definitely make sure to subscribe to Debate Crypto, all together at Debate Crypto. On YouTube, we love each and every one of you guys. If no one's told you before tonight, we love you. We hope you guys have a great night, and
Hodl like it's hot.
Hodl like it's hot. That's right, guys. Hodl like it's hot.